afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining today's ECA Learning Zone webinar. I'm Omar Khalil, Communications Manager here at ECA. Today's webinar is all about the secrets to increasing your profit through tendering with Ensign ECA Commercial Associate. Today's panelists should be up on your screen now. We've got Phil Altimus, Product Manager, Matthew Locke, Sales Manager, and Simon Revel, Sales Consultant at Ensign. I'll shortly hand over to Simon, who will kick off today's presentation. But before I do that, just want to remind you that you can use the question mark button that should be on your screen now at any time during today's presentation to ask our presenters a question, and we'll try to answer as many of those as we can at the end of the session. This webinar is being recorded, and the full replay will be available on ECA's YouTube channel. That's at youtube.com/ECA Live. And we also host all our replays from the entire ECA Learning Zone webinar series there. So do check those out, covering all sorts of industry and business and commercial topics. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed today's session. And over to you, Simon.
Thank you, Omar. Hello, my name is Simon Revel. Pleased to welcome you to our Ensign presentation to help you increase profits. Joining me from the Ensign team today, I have Phil Altimus and Matt Locke. And in today's session, the secret to increasing your profit, we will be looking at locking in profit in the pre-construction phase, protecting that profit, improving your estimating processes, and increasing your takeoff accuracy. So who are Ensign? We were one of the first estimating software providers back in 1980, and during the past 40+ years, we have helped transform the working systems of our clients, allowing them to improve and achieve incredible results. We are really proud of this and of our 5-star Google review scores. Listening to feedback from our loyal clients over the years has allowed us to consistently and constantly improve the software, and that has resulted in users gaining ever-increasing value. Following a recent survey, 93% of users say that they have increased their win rate, 95% have increased their profitability, and 96% now produce more accurate bids, with all the detail now available to them. And 97% of users now spend less time estimating, giving them more time to increase output of tenders or to focus in other areas of the business. Because of this, we are very proud to be recognised for our achievements with some great awards. Here are just some of the recent ones, like the Big Innovation Winner 2022, the Titan Business Awards, and the International Business Awards. And now let's hear from my colleague, Phil.
Hi, thanks, Simon. So my name is Phil Altimus, and I'm the product manager at Ensign. And I've been training estimators for over 20 years. And during that time, I've seen a lot of changes to software. I've also taken a lot of customers from manual methods of tendering into computerized estimating. And over that time, I've seen several problems with the manual method of tendering, and I'd just like to run through some of those right now. So with manual tendering, it's really difficult to know where the value is within the tender. And also, you can make a lot of mistakes, and they become more frequent. And these mistakes lead to profit loss, and they create cash flow problems. And these are problems that no business really needs. Manual tendering is also very time consuming, and that's time you can't charge your clients for, so that becomes an overhead to the business. It's also very difficult to decide which projects to pitch for. Most estimating companies have a niche market they aim for, and that only becomes evident once they've done quite a few estimates. So being able to track that through a computerized system really makes a massive difference to your business. We also think it's difficult for companies when they're printing off drawings, because it's a lot of time and money lost within the tender, and again, that's a massive overhead to the business. And also in the current climate, it's difficult with hybrid working. Not everybody's got a massive kitchen or massive kitchen table where they can spread an A0 drawing. So having computerized software really helps with that. Today, we feel that most of our industry hasn't changed, but the technology that is valuable to us has. So where is your profit made? Is it at the preparation stage, when you're looking at the specification and drawings? Is it the actual takeoff stage from the drawing? Is it an estimating stage when you're adding prelims? Is it the markup stage when you're adding overhead and profit? Or is it when you're on site? Well, we consider that the takeoff and estimating process is where your profit is locked in. And we then think that on site, that's where you're protecting your profit. And computerized systems will help with that. So how can automated takeoff and value engineering boost your profits? I'm going to hand you over to my colleague Matt now, who's going to talk you through that.
Thanks, Phil. So as I say, Phil's just saying there, my name's Matt. I'm sales manager here at Ensign. Over the last 15 odd years of being with Ensign, I've seen many sort of contractors come through our doors here and learn estimating software and also use its capabilities throughout those years and since the company's been formulated. So one of our main sort of secrets to profitable tendering is using estimating software, as we've been saying. Now, a lot of our software is very simple to use. There are some pitfalls to manual estimating, as Phil's just gone through there, and the rest of today's webinar will be a little bit more about the software systems themselves. But we want to go first of all through training. So a big part of what we do here at Ensign is that we initially train you on our software. So you can see here that not all of our end users have the ability to be able to use a computer. The one little story I remember many years ago was that we had a contractor come and do some training with us, and they had very little basic computer knowledge. I remember the trainer coming out at the end of the day, and he said in the first instances when the client got there, he'd asked the user to move his mouse around the screen, and he actually picked up the mouse and put it on the screen like this and moved it around. That was a bit of a long day for the trainer that day, but by the end of it, the customer and the end user was okay with using the computer and also very comfortable with using the software. So like I say, we do online training initially. That gets you up and running with the system, the fundamentals of how to operate the software. Once you've got to grips with it, what we would then like to do is invite you to our headquarters to do some one-to-one training. That's where we'll actually go through the system with you a bit more in depth, again on a one-to-one basis, just yourselves and ourselves. Also moving on from there, that we offer full support as well. So it's not only just the training. Moving on from the initial training, you also then get the full support by the technical team here. So if you do need any additional support, please feel free to pick up the phone and speak to the technical team here. They're on hand to help you out directly. So in terms of software, how can that help you to be more profitable? I'd like to take you through now a little bit of a slide on PDF takeoff software. So as Phil was mentioning there, one of the pitfalls of manual takeoff is having to print those drawings out. With PDF takeoff software, you can be basically hybrid with your working. You don't necessarily have to be in the office where the plotter is. You could be working from home, you could be working from site. The ability to PDF takeoff software enables you to not have to print stock drawings at tender stage. Like we can see there, there's no need for large printers. It gives you that ability to move around. The software is also constantly backed up as well. So if you do need to go back to anything, you can do. We're hoping that some of the features you'll see in the next few slides and videos will show you how software can be more accurate. And a lot of the takeoff is made simpler by the software itself. So how does PDF takeoff software work? So I'd like to run you through a little video here of our PDF takeoff system. So again, this is meaning that we don't have to print drawings out. We don't have to write things down. We can actually get the system to do some of the heavy lifting for us. Now, particularly on this screen here and this exercise we're about to do, we're actually going to ask the software to count some symbols for us. So again, that innovation side in our software, it has the ability to be able to do symbol recognition. So we've selected a fitting A here, and we can see that the system will then, from that selection, go and look for like symbols on the drawing. We're then going to go through to the symbols B. So all the like fittings B. We've changed colour here, so we know that they're a different symbol. We've also gone and selected a particular range of manufacturer, in this case Dextra, out of our database. Now I'll come to that a bit later on. But you'll see here that we're selecting those symbols. We've got the ability to clear up any lines that may be through them, so on and so forth. And we'll then just take off the C's as well. So we also, just moving through, changing our color sequencing here, we'll select the next symbol. I think it's just a few on here, and it will then count those off. So again, this is saving us having to go through doing a manual process of counting them off, writing them down on the takeoff sheet. We can see on the left-hand side as we're going along here, you actually got the takeoff quantities as well. So you can see that we've taken off a certain amount of fittings. So that's symbol counting. The software also gives you the ability to be able to do linear measures. So as we can see here, we're operating the system by choosing out some cable. We've chosen the particular cable range. We've selected the color. We've changed our line thickness as well. So what the system will allow us to do now is to go and measure those cable routes. So you can see we're just picking off the cable routes, measure them on screen, colors them with the direction changes you take them off, and it will also measure as you go along as well. So once we enter those quantities in, we can get an accurate measurement for our cable. 9 times out of 10, we may just look at this and go, well, that's about 15 meters. But with this, we can actually measure that if we wish to. Again, it's very quick and very simple to be able to do that. But that also may mean that you're now making your material allowances for cable more accurate. So you're not over or under purchasing materials when you get to site. So we'll just run through the last sort of few takeoff lines here. Okay, so we're just running through these here now. So that's looking through doing linear and unit takeoffs. So there we've been using the database. Now let's say, for example, that we don't know what the manufacturer's specification is, and we don't know what the cost for some of these light fittings are. So as we can see here, if we don't know that information, well, it means we can still go and quantify the drawing and count how many fittings we've got. And then what we can do is we can come back to that later, and we can add the information in perhaps when we've gone out to the lighting manufacturer. Now we can see that information seamlessly being moved from the PDF takeoff software directly into our section within the project in the estimating software. This means I haven't had to write anything down. I haven't had to think about it too much other than just colouring it in. And we can see now that we're operating the system by going back to that free type, and we're entering the information in for the unit hours and unit material costs. And you can see that the system has updated it as I've entered that information in. So that's a bit more about the PDF takeoff software. I'd like to now hand you over to Phil, who's going to take you through secret number 2.
Hi, thanks, Matt. So, secret number 2, how to create estimates faster without losing accuracy. So we get a lot of feedback from our customers, and some of the feedback we got was about the accuracy and how it can be checked in the system. So Mr. Percival of HPES Technical sent this in. So I dodged a bullet there. I started estimating a job recently and didn't realise I'd missed something in my calculations. Had I won the job, I'd ended up out of pocket. Luckily, I ran the project through the Ensign software and soon realised my mistake before committing. So what's the secret? let the estimating system do the heavy lifting, less time is taken, and there's less margin for human error. So I'm just going to do a quick product demo of one of the screens that we've got that really helps you with this. So as you can see on this screen, our estimator's laid out the estimate and he's put some items into the estimate itself. And on the next screen, it's called the unpriced item screen. We can check for any items with missing labour. So straight away it's showing me I've got 2 items where I've missed the labour rate, and I can go in and put the labour on that screen. And just using the little radio buttons at the bottom, I can look for any items with no cost or no discount. So if I look at no discount, it's showing me all the items that I've got in my estimate with missing discount. I can produce a nice little report, which I can send in PDF, in CSV or Word. I can send that to my supplier, to a merchant, ask them to fill the discounts in. When they fill it in, I can then put them straight back into my estimate. So we just export the report here, and it will save it in my cloud documents. So as you can see there, it is being saved. So I'd send that out, email it to one of the suppliers, and then we'd send the discounts in, ready for me to put back into the system. So I'll go back onto this screen, and I'm going to take the top item, and I can see it's got no discount. So I just press the button at the bottom to change the discount, and it pops up. I can add my discount into this screen. And when I press the confirm button, it gives me 2 options. And that is the option to add the discount into the master table, so that the discount is used in future estimates. There you go, like we've just done on that one. Or the next one down, I'm going to make this for this job only. So again, I change the discount, type the discount in, and when I press confirm, I can choose the option for this job only. So it gives you the 2 options there. Okay. So it will check for items with no labour, no discount, and no material price. So what are the benefits of the unpriced item report? It highlights any items with no discount, it highlights any items with no labour times, and it highlights items with no material price. So how did this improve your estimating process and make them more accurate? Well, you won't be winning any jobs that you can't afford to do. And none of us want to do that, because that eats into the company's profit. And you won't be losing any jobs for being overpriced. We know that without the discount against the recommended retail prices, it's very difficult to win jobs these days. So that's what the unpriced items report does for you. So that's circuit number 2. So circuit number 1, how to use takeoff software without advanced computer skills. And circuit number 2, how to create estimates faster without losing accuracy. So at this point, I'll hand you back to Matt.
Thanks, Phil. So moving on to secret number 3. So this is where we look at value engineering. So we've gone through, we've done our quantity takeoffs there. We've started to build our project out, renting our materials in, and we've gone and look at doing some changes to those discounts like we've just seen. But I'm sure you've probably come through this before. You get halfway through, the client rings up and says, hold on a minute, you know that specification, you've just done all that work doing all those quantity takeoffs. I now want to go and change it to this other specification. Now doing that on something like an Excel sheet will probably make you think a few words that I probably can't repeat. But using estimating software, it's very easy to then go out and swap specifications. So we can see here a little quote from one of our clients that said that that actually happened to them halfway through the job, and they were easily able to swap out the materials and then reprice the job accordingly. So we'd like to take you through a little video on how to do that now as well. So here's a project that we have priced. Let's say that these particular lines that we're selecting here, we want to go and swap out with the same quantities for just different products across these sections. So the process is very easy in this case. We just select a line that we wish to, or a product, for example, and you'll right click and then replace identical items. You'll see the system then prompts you to say, again, do you want to do it for just this section, or would you like to do it across all of the sections? So again, that means that you're not having to go through every single line of all your components to make sure that you've not missed changing one of them. Again, the system will do that heavy lifting for you if you wish to. So what we're doing here is just selecting the new component. We do need to add a little 1 in, just so a quantity of 1 so the system knows to change it to. And you can see there that the software has then changed that accordingly across those different sections. If we were to move on now and calculate up, it would take that change into account. It would then reprice the project. Again, this is something we could do for a project that we priced a few months ago. If we want to come back in and swap products out, we can do that as well. If we want to change from the specification with the client's asked us to do, we may swap that out for another specification to give our cost saving back to the client if we wanted to. Alternatively, we keep that profit in our pocket. So that's sort of value engineering. So what are the benefits to do that? The ability to offer a cost saving to the client if we wish to. Changes can be done on the fly, which are very easy to do. And this improves the quality and reduces waste of having to reprint things to check them. Also the quality in terms of the products. So, move on. We're going to move on to the database now. Now, we mentioned that in the video back at the beginning on the PDF takeoff software. You may have seen us selecting those products out of a database. So we do have an industry database of manufacturers' different component ranges. So what does that mean? What it means is that you have certain information on hand. Again, that's going to be the manufacturer. It's going to be the range. It's going to be the product code, the description, and the trade price. What we can do with that trade price is we can also put some discount against that as well from your supply chain. And again, our comprehensive database comes with average installation times for fitting as well. So you get a wealth of information within the database. So as you can see there, it's a comprehensive manufacturers list. Those prices are then updated regularly. Now we're going to come to this in a few moments. And you can complete many time saving assemblies. So I'll just briefly touch on that one. So assemblies are a really, really good feature within the software. So you can compile components together. Let's take for a socket box, for example. You can have a bit of cable, a back plate, and a face plate. So you can compile those 3 components together. Again, when you come to your PDF takeoff and you go to count your points, you could use that assembly. So as you go around to either auto count or manually count with the mouse, you're actually allowing for all 3 components, the trade prices, and the installation times all in one go. So again, saving yourself lots and lots of time. So how do we update our database? We're going to bring you through to the final video of the day, which is just to show you how we can easily update our trade prices. So you'll see we're at our summary screen here. This is the penultimate stage of the estimate. This is a job we've repriced. We're going to go back to the takeoff, the home screen, should I say, sorry, and then we're going to go to the button that says update prices. Now we release a price update every Thursday or Friday. So we do release those price updates every week. And of course, alternatively, there are 4 a week. So that's now updated those prices. I can now quite easily go and quickly back into that project and I can update the prices as they are today. I could also, if it's an original job or a job that I did a few months ago, I can copy that job out and then I can go and reprice it at today's prices. And you can see here it's given us the ability to recalculate. That's now gone through and readjusted those trade prices and costs accordingly. What I can do now is I could go in and do some markups. I've got some markups set, or I can do some reports. We're just going to jump back here. Like I mentioned about having a project previously priced, I may have locked those prices out previously. So I just need to unlock those if it's a job that I've previously priced. I can then go through and I can choose a selection way of automatically updating the trade prices. As you can see there, it runs through and updates them accordingly as well. So that's how we can quite quickly and easily update our comprehensive database. So I'll hand you back over to Simon.
Thank you, Matt. So let's recap. Secret 1, is to use a cloud-based advanced estimating software that is simple to use. Secret 2 is to use a takeoff software to be 100% accurate. And secret 3 is having the digital tools available to you to be able to value engineer the project with ease. We know from our experience, it's all about changing the mindset. And people always say, it's easy to carry on the way I have been doing it for years, or I have too much work to focus on to learn something new, or let me think about this, you know, later on when the business has grown. Here at Ensign, we have been on this journey of mindset change together with our clients, and we understand that a change within your business can improve your accuracy, your profits, allowing your company to flourish and grow. It will improve your time within the business, and it will keep you going forward as technology moves forward. So there are two choices: do nothing and don't change. Or option 2 is to take advantage of our free demos and helpful support team to ask any further questions you may have. We also have many other ways that we can help, such as labour times guides, industry reports, our YouTube channel, and help guides. So if you would like to discuss making a change, get in touch today. I'd like to thank you very much for your time listening to Matt, Phil, and myself. And we would now like to run through any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Simon, and thanks everyone for your presentations there. I'll just switch everyone's webcams back on. There we go. So we've got a couple of questions from the audience. Before I jump into those, if you're watching us on YouTube on the replay, and you have any questions that we don't cover today, do get in touch at the details there that are on the slide there, and I'm sure we'll be happy to help you. So first question, is the software all in browser? Can it be used on an iPad, iPhone, smartphone, etc.?
I'll take that one there if I can, Omar. So yeah, just to answer that question, we are fully cloud based. We do operate with a remote desktop environment. So that means that you can use that across various different operating systems. So Windows, Apple iOS, and that means then you can set up access to the software throughout laptops, iPads, desktops, phones if you really want to. But generally, most of our users will be on either a desktop machine, a laptop machine, or something like a tablet or an iPad. And again, it gives you that flexibility of being able to hybridly work on either various different machines or various different access points.
Thanks. Another question also linked to the software itself. How many logins can you have per business? So I suppose that's referring to multiple employees wanting to log on. Do they each need an individual login, or is it just the one for the whole package?
I can take that one. Yeah, so with ourselves, what we'll do when we initially bring you on board is assess your requirements and discuss with yourself sort of how many users within the business that there are, and we can basically assign a user license login as such to each user that needs access.
Okay. Is the software comparable to software like Xero, QuickBooks, etc.?
Well, I'll take that one. First of all, Xero is an accounts package, and we're not an accounts package, we're estimating software. It's very comparable to most estimating software packages on the market at the moment. And I'm sure if you had a demo, you would see just how comparable it is and how customizable it is.
Right.
Yeah, just to add to that one as well, Omar, if I may. The question was asked there about sort of accounting packages. And as sort of Phil was saying, there isn't a direct link essentially from our software to other softwares. But again, when you're looking at the estimating side of things, once you produce the project and you come through to reporting aspects, we've got about 50 different reports that can generate information in an Excel format or a CSV format. So if those particular, I think you mentioned Xero there, or Sage is another one, I believe they do have an import functionality from something like a CSV and Excel. So it could be that you could produce the information, although it won't, sort of directly link, but we can produce, 50 odd different reports with information in Excel or CSV, and then you should probably be able to import it into something like one of those packages thereafter.
Yeah, and I'm sure that would make life easier, to just directly import a CSV into, Xero, Sage, QuickBooks, whichever it is. On the subject of importing and exporting, are the drawings exported in, is there a range of formats that you can choose?
So I can take that one. So obviously the PDF takeoff allows for those PDFs to be uploaded onto our portal, if you like, and then from those you can access the drawings to obviously work through to complete your takeoff.
Excellent. And I've got the last audience question here. How much does the service cost? Is it a sliding scale? I presume that means based on business size.
I'll take that one if I can, Omar. I mean, like Simon sort of mentioned earlier, at this sort of stage, we would like to understand a bit more about our end users' requirements. So at the moment, that would be difficult to sort of say without that sort of quick conversation. Maybe an offline 10 or 15 minute chat if those particular people that ask those questions want to reach out to us. We'll understand a bit more about the business, what sort of setup you need in terms of user licenses, as Simon was saying. But we generally work, sort of on an initial investment and then a monthly fee, all encompassed for things like the cloud environment and software and price updates and also product updates as well.
Excellent. Thanks, Matt. And that covers all the questions that we had from the audience. As I said earlier, if anyone wants to find out any more, you've got the contact details up on your screen there. And this webinar will be recorded and available on YouTube. So with that said, thank you very much, guys. Those are the secrets to increasing your profit through tendering. Really fantastic presentation. Thanks ever so much, and have a great afternoon.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.